Okay, awesome. Cool. So I have my team here from the Albers Placement Center. We have Justin, Megan, and Mary Lou. As I mentioned, the Albers Placement Center is the career center for the Albers Business School. I think we also have a couple people on the call from the Career Engagement Office. Carol Lawali, I saw Melissa Minato. They work in the Career Engagement Office, which is the career center for the entire campus. And we are working together to host the upcoming Business and Engineering Career Fair, which brings us here today. So why are we here today? We're here to learn about and prepare for our first ever virtual career fair. We've hosted the Business and Engineering Career Fair annually for several years now, and this is the first year that we will be hosting it virtually, so pretty exciting. We will be hosting it virtually in Handshake. Handshake has created a new platform, so we'll be going over that today. The fair is on Thursday, October 8th from 10:30 to 1:30, and it is open to all business and engineering students. All right, so we can go ahead and get started. I think I can't remember if I already mentioned this or not, but we will leave a ton of time at the end to answer questions. Justin and my team will be managing the chat. So if you do have a question, go ahead and drop it in the chat and we can answer questions at the end. All right, so what we are going to go over today, I'm going to briefly tell you what Handshake is if you aren't already familiar. We are going to talk about updating your Handshake profile. I'm going to give you an overview of the new virtual career fair platform. I'm going to show you how to register for the fair and how to sign up for sessions with employers. So what is Handshake? Handshake is our basically virtual job board here at Seattle U. Handshake is used by thousands of universities across the country. It's where we post all of our jobs and internships and part-time jobs and on-campus jobs. So if an employer comes to us and says, hey, I have an internship, we say, okay, awesome, let's get it posted to Handshake.
Wrong week.
Additionally, we also have all of our events posted in Handshake, like this event today, and all of our career fairs and that sort of thing. Additionally, employers will post their events to Handshake as well. So obviously, in light of everything going on and everyone working remotely, a bunch of companies have been hosting webinars and they've been promoting those on Handshake. So it's really important to stay in the loop on some of those events. Obviously, virtual career fairs, which we will be covering today. And you can build a strong profile to help you get noticed by employers, which again, we will also be talking about today. It's nice in Handshake, you can customize your recommendations so you can populate your interests. So it's tailored to what is shown to you and what you should apply for. There's also a mobile app, which is helpful, especially when applying for jobs. You can be ready on the go. All right, so updating your profile. This is what your profile will look like in Handshake. I recommend you fill out your profile as detailed and as much as possible. It's similar to LinkedIn in some ways in that employers can use filters and kind of categorize students based on location or preferences or major and all of that stuff. So in general, it's really important to have your profile filled out. I would recommend getting a photo on there. Specifically for the fair, it is very, very, very important for you to update your profile, especially your major, your GPA, your graduation date, and your school year. These are very important because employers, which I'll talk a little bit about later, but employers will be able to set some preferences for their sessions. So employers could say, all right, since we're an engineering firm and we're only hiring engineering students, we only want to meet with engineering students today. So if you don't have your major populated, or if you just recently changed your major or something like that, you want to make sure that you go in and update that so you are able to attend the sessions that you really are able to. So anytime you see this little pencil here, you can click that and it will edit, and you'll be able to edit. Like down here, I could change mine from senior to junior. And then similarly here under your education section, click this pencil and you can change your major, your graduation date. Graduation date is really important. So that will know, especially for full-time positions, they want to know when you would be able to start working. And then you'll have your GPA. There's a little box that you can check that where you can say you want to, I think it's like hide your GPA from employers or something like that, if you wish. So that's how to update your profile. Another thing that will be important to update for the fair will be privacy and work authorization. So if you go to click on your little profile from your Handshake page and click settings and privacy, it'll take you to this page here. So in order to participate in the fair, you need to at least be open to employers, which makes sense, right? If we're going to be meeting with employers, we need to say, okay, yeah, employers can view my profile. I would recommend doing community. That will allow you to see other students, see full profiles. So at least for the fair, I would recommend community. I would recommend community just in general. But this is something that you could always change after the fair if you wish. Similarly, you'll want to update your work authorization. Work authorization is another preference that employers can set. So employers can say, we only want to chat with those who are authorized to work in the US. If you check this box that says prefer not to answer these questions, then you'll still be eligible. It won't count you out of being eligible for one-on-one sessions. Hopefully that makes sense. Obviously, when we think of a career fair, we want to be thinking about our resume. I'm sure if any of you have been to a career fair in the past, you know that you bring a stack of your resumes, and it's always a good idea to leave them with the employers. So same thing here. You want to make sure that you update your resume and you upload it to your Handshake profile. You can do so by, again, going to your little profile icon and then clicking documents, and you'll see that you're able to upload a number of different documents. So resumes, cover letters, transcripts. And so I uploaded 2 examples. I labeled one as 2018 as if it were an older version of my resume, and you'll notice that that one is not visible. So I uploaded my most recent resume and I said, okay, this one is visible. Again, this is important because any employer that attends the fair will be able to see a list of students after the fair. So even if they weren't able to meet with you, you still want to have an employer be able to see your resume. All right, so now for an overview of the virtual career fair platform. So as I mentioned earlier, it is hosted in Handshake, so you won't need to go to Zoom or anything like that. You'll log into Handshake, and I'll show you how to register for the fair and do all of that. Video, audio, and chat will be available, and there are basically two options to connect with employers. So one is a group session, which is up to 30 minutes long, and up to 50 attendees can join. So it could be you, maybe 3 or 4 employers, and 25 students. In these group sessions, if there will be no preferences set. So as I mentioned earlier, employers can set some preferences for their one-on-ones. There will be no preferences for group sessions, so they will be open to everyone. Once just so you don't think you have technology issues, once the capacity hits 15 in these group sessions, the video shuts off for the students. So it's not like a gallery of 50 students and the employer presenting, but you can chat your questions throughout. It's really up to the employer how they want to run this session. They might do a panel, they might do a PowerPoint presentation. It will just vary on the employer. So the second way to meet with employers and engage with employers is one-on-one sessions, which are all set for 10 minutes. And they are exactly like they sound. They're one student and one employer. As I mentioned earlier, employers can set preferences. So they only want to meet with engineering students, or they only want to meet with business students. From what we've been seeing, employers have been pretty lax about setting these preferences. But with that being said, obviously it's a good idea to make sure that your profile and information is up to date. One key feature about this career fair platform is that there's no waiting in line. So you can pre-schedule your sessions prior to the fair. So starting September 24th, I'll talk a little bit about this on the next slide. Starting September 24th, you as students will be able to go in and register for the fair and sign up for sessions. So you could have your entire schedule set prior to the fair. All right, so how do we register for the fair? As I mentioned earlier, getting familiar with this events tab on Handshake is a very great idea because it's going to, that's where you're going to see a whole list of events upcoming. I'm talking about hundreds of events, Amazon, Google, State Farm, just a ton of opportunities, in addition to all of the events that Seattle U hosts. So if you click on events and then click on career fair, it's going to show you the upcoming career fairs at your school. The Beta Alpha Psi group is doing a Meet the Firm, so that's why we're seeing a second fair there. And then we have the Business and Engineering Career Fair. So you can click on that. And right now, if you were to click on it today, you would see this registration is currently closed. And so you'd probably be thinking to yourself, did I already miss the registration? Why is it closed? What's going on? It just hasn't opened yet. So as I mentioned, registration opens September 24th at 8 a.m. The reason why it's not open yet is because we want employers to go in to Handshake and set up their sessions so that when we do open the registration, there are sessions for you all to sign up for. However, there are some really helpful information, links to articles, ways to prepare on the Business and Engineering Career Fair page. So you can visit that page, bookmark the fair so you can access it very easily. And then you can also see the list of employers that are attending, what they're hiring for, what kind of positions they currently have, and all of that good stuff. So still go to the fair page and check out who's coming. So on September 24th, that button will turn to register. You'll click register and it will say, all right, do you want to view employer sessions? You'll say, yep, I want to view employer sessions, and it will take you to a list of all of the sessions and all of the companies attending the fair. So this is a screenshot from a different fair, and I clicked on one of the employers here, and it's showing me all the sessions that they have. So it looks like they have 3 group sessions, and then I can also click here for their one-on-one sessions. For the group sessions, if a company is offering multiple, I definitely recommend clicking on the each of the group sessions and seeing what the title is, what the description is, because some companies may say, join this group session to learn about our opportunities for engineering internships. Join this group session, we're going to be talking about our business opportunities. So some of them may be tailored, some of them may be general. So just check it out, take your time. And then if it looks like something you will want to attend, You simply just click confirm and it will add it to your schedule. So as we can see, this is what your schedule will look like. It added that group session at 1 p.m. to my session. And then I clicked on the one-on-one sessions as well. And it looks like there are 3 employer representatives that I can choose from. So Stephanie, who's a recruiter, Ashley, who works in tax, and then Anna, who works in audit. So let's say I'm a student and I'm interested in tax. I probably want to meet with Ashley. So again, kind of assess your options and see, oh, if this person is in engineering and this person's in business or what have you, use your judgment or be strategic about it. So I said, okay, I want to meet with Stephanie at 12:20. So I clicked that, said, are you sure you want to confirm? I said, you betcha. And then it added it to my session. So let's say you create your session, you sign up for several different one-on-ones and group sessions, and you have the entire day or from 10:30 to 1:30 blocked out. And then the next day you realize, oh shoot, I have a class from 1 to 1:30 or whatever. It's really, really, really important that you cancel those sessions as soon as possible. For obvious reasons, we want to be respectful of the employer's time, but also we want to make sure that we're giving other students an opportunity to sign up for those slots. So when you click cancel a session, it gives you the opportunity to send a little note. So if I needed to cancel this appointment, I would say, hi, Stephanie, I realized that I had a class at 1 p.m. I apologize for having to cancel. I would love the opportunity to connect with you at another time or something like that. So please, please, please cancel if you feel like you're not going to be able to make something. All right, during your session, so we did a practice run through and this is what it looks like. I thought I would share some screenshots of in the actual fair. So when you log into Handshake the day of the fair, there will be a little pop-up that says your fair is upcoming, and you can say, all right, go to the fair. And then once the fair actually starts, you'll have your schedule and it will say join video. So you can just join the video, and as you can see, it looks very similar to a Zoom call or something like that. Some recommendations that we have are find a quiet spot with a neutral background if you can. I also think having good connectivity, internet connectivity is important. Always introduce yourself, ask questions, so come prepared. Do a little bit of research on the front end. If I know I'm going to be meeting with Stephanie from Deloitte, I'm going to do a little bit of research. What opportunities does Deloitte have? What are some basic things I should know about their company? What's something I find interesting about their company? Arrive on time. I'll talk a little bit about this later in the following slide, but please arrive on time. You are in charge of your own schedule for the fair. So although you have a one-on-one session that ends at 11 and another one that starts at 11, it's not going to automatically shut it down and take you to the next one. You'll get a 1-minute warning, and at that point, say your goodbyes. Make sure that you leave that session and then you're on time for your next one. Obviously, the employers are going to be having back-to-back sessions as well, so they're going to appreciate you being aware and cautious of the time, because we're all going to be battling the same thing. Everyone needs to manage their time. So please stick to your schedule and manage your time appropriately. Okay, so during the fair, when you log in, if you're having any technical issues or questions, we, the Albers Placement Center and Career Engagement Team, have set up a Zoom room for your tech support, the link to the Zoom room is just on the career fair page, and we'll also be sending it out in a reminder email as well. So if you are having issues or need help with something, stop by that Zoom room and we can help you out. As I mentioned, stick to your schedule and be respectful of time. If you need to cancel, please do so as soon as possible. All right, so prior to the fair, as I mentioned, this is kind of a recap of what we talked about today. Update your profile, specifically major, grad date, work authorization, and GPA. Register and sign up for sessions on September 24th or anytime after that. Update and upload your resume. Research the companies and prepare some questions for your one-on-one sessions. And then you can test your technology. This link is also on the career fair page. Twilio is, I believe, the platform that Handshake uses for video. So I've clicked it a couple times. It takes you to kind of like a diagnostics page where it says, yep, you passed, your technology is lines up with Twilio. So again, we'll be sending that link out as in the reminder emails as well. So that concludes my content. Now we can move on to questions. Justin, have there been any questions in the chat?
Yeah, we have two. One question would be, is the slide deck going to be available that we can send to students after the presentation?
Yeah, we can send the slide deck out. This is also being recorded, so we'll have the entire presentation up on our YouTube page. But I could send out the slide deck in the BECF invite email, if that'd be helpful for you guys.
And then the other question we have was around when students are filling out their profile, and there's a question about visa sponsorship. If they're on OPT, do they want to select yes or no as far as visa sponsorship goes?
That's a good question. So I think the wording, are you legally authorized to work in the United States? Megan, can you speak to this at all? If you are, let's say you have OPT.
Or will have it, or
will have it.
Yeah. Usually on this one, Abby, I would say, are you legally authorized if you have a opportunity for CPT or OPT? I think you can say yes. But then that's why they also ask that second question, because they're trying to get a sense of if that authorization is temporary. And so on the second question, will you now or in the future require visa sponsorship? If you're only on CPT or OPT, yes, you will need visa sponsorship at some point. So then you need to say yes on that one as well. And then they'll understand that your work authorization is temporary. That's usually kind of what I recommend.
Thanks, Megan. And
yeah.
If you don't know, you can say you prefer not to disclose, or you can always reach out to one of us and we can try to help navigate that.
Thanks. And that was the end of the questions that I compiled from the chat. So I guess we could see if there's any other.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. If anyone else has any questions, you can use maybe we can use the raise hand feature. Anyone has any questions? Questions?
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Awesome. It sounds like we don't need to do anything in addition to just setting up our one-on-one 10-minute sessions. Like we don't need to email the employer and say, hey, just double confirming. None of that, right? You're just doing it online and it'll set it up and they'll know that that's when you want to meet.
Yep, that's a really good question. You're exactly right. All you need to do is do it all through Handshake. You don't need to worry about any of that. I think that most of the time, some some of the employers actually you probably won't even have their email from their Handshake profile. So don't worry about any of that. It will all be done through the system. From an employer's perspective, they are kind of doing the same thing. So they're saying, all right, let's do our one-on-one sessions from 10:30 to 12:30, and then we'll wrap it up with a group session. So they know that they have these slots and they want students to sign up. So yep, that's all you need to do is just sign up through Handshake.
Okay, thank you.
Hi,
Abby, go ahead, Yaha.
can I? So yeah, I have a question about the companies. Will there be companies that will hire for both, for business
both.
and for engineering? Let's
Yeah,
say
that's a
like
good
a software
question.
engineer and like business analyst.
Yes, that's a really good question. Yes, yeah, absolutely. It depends on the company and what they're hiring for, but actually right now I feel like we have a pretty good mix of business engineering and both. So a company like T-Mobile is going to be hiring for both. So yeah, good question.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Is there a way to tell what companies are offering full-time opportunity versus internship opportunity? Wow, really good question. Sorry I didn't cover this. Yes, absolutely. So the really awesome thing about Handshake and this platform is that currently right now, if you were to go to the business and engineering career fair page, you would be able to see which companies are signed up and what they're hiring for. So it'll say full-time position, we're open to these majors. Sometimes they'll even have, if the position is posted in Handshake, it'll be directly linked. So it'll say, these are our internship opportunities. And then you can go there and check them out. So yes, there's ways you'll be able to see what they're hiring for. Which Carol just reminded me of a really good point. You should look at that ahead of time. So be sure that you are doing a little bit of due diligence and research before just randomly signing up with people. If you know that you're looking for a full-time position, or if you are a junior and you're looking for an internship this summer, obviously that's where you're going to focus your time, right? So wanting to learn who's hiring for internships, and that's probably where you're going to want to spend your time. Any other questions?
I have one more question, and I apologize that this is a bit intense, but do you have placement rates or like success rates on career fairs in general, not necessarily virtual, but any statistics on how successful these are for student placement?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good question. I don't think we have any specific stats from actual fairs. We have stats of the Albers school. So who gets placed every year, or who has a job every year, and how many students had internships, but not tying it specifically back to a career fair. I would argue that generally you don't walk away from a career fair knowing that you have a job. You haven't signed an offer letter. You haven't, received an offer letter at that point, unless they are like super on top of it. So I think does it lead to getting a job or an internship? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, making that connection. These 10-minute one-on-one sessions are probably going to be treated like little kind of mini interviews if the employers want to. So, but that was a really long-winded answer I don't have any specific numbers for you.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, thank you.
Hey, Abby, I have a question that I partly answered in the chat, but a student wants to know if freshmen can apply, which yes, freshmen can apply to the jobs, but that also partly depends on any restrictions the employer has for the kind of student that they're looking for. Is there an easy way for students to tell whether employers are looking for freshmen, sophomores, undergrads, grad students?
Yes, great question. So similar to when we go to this page and look and see who's attending the fair, it will give you that breakdown as well. So it'll say interested in full-time offers, interested in internships, open to freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, master, and so forth. If they don't disclose that, maybe they didn't check those boxes or whatever, you will, when you log in to sign up for sessions, it will only show you what you are able to sign up for. So it's not going to show a freshman business student a ton of sessions for a senior engineering student. So if you are seeing something, that means that you're eligible and you should sign up for it. The group sessions are going to be open to everyone. So to me, that is a great way to get your feet wet. If you're like, well, I'm not really looking for an internship, this is what a career fair is for, is to make connections, learn, gather information, find out some things about industries and fields that you might be interested in. This is a great opportunity to do that. So freshmen through masters, everyone is welcome. Anyone else have any questions? And I just want to echo, if you do have any questions between now and the fair, please don't hesitate to reach out. We are here to help. We know that this virtual platform is new for everyone. It's new for the employers too. So, so it's a learning process for everyone. If you're feeling overwhelmed, don't worry, it'll all work out. It'll be a great event, but we are here to help. Any other?
I have a quick question. Can you hear me?
Yep.
So I'm on the Business and Engineering Career Fair page on Handshake.
Mm-hmm.
So when we register, are the one-on-one sessions also going to be on the same page?
Yes, good question. So as you can see here, so this is a screenshot of what it will look like. It will have kind of a list of all of the companies, and then below each company, it'll say, here are the different options. So these are the group sessions, these 3 are group sessions. And then if you click this one-on-one, it'll show you the times and the employer representatives that you can sign up with.
Okay, and do you think these slots go like pretty fast, or do you think they have like a lot of slots available?
I think that it depends. Would I recommend being timely about it? Yeah. Do I think you need to log in and sign and rush through like you're trying to get like concert tickets? No, it's not. I would recommend quality, finding what works for you. There are a lot of sessions. The group sessions are open to 50 people. 50 people might not sign up. So it could be 1 employer or 2 employers or 3 employers and 3 students, and it could be more into or something like that. So obviously we've never done this virtual platform before, so I can't tell you from past experience, but what we are hearing from other universities and trends that we are seeing is that students are like to wait to the last minute to sign up. So I think that in this instance, early bird gets the worm, and if you're on top of it, there will be sessions available.
Okay, sounds good.
That you may want to just periodically keep checking back. I'm encouraging all the employers to have their schedules set by the 24th, so they're all ready to go when registration opens. However, you know, if someone comes in, if an employer signs up on the 25th, we don't want to say, nope, sorry, too late. So they may be creating their schedules up until probably like a week before the fair.
Mm-hmm. And I kind of cut out like in the middle of the meeting. So where are you guys going to upload the slides anywhere on the website or something like that?
Yeah, we can all attach the slides to the invite, the save the date email. And then we'll also be uploading this presentation or this video to YouTube. I don't know if Megan, I can't get the list of attendees' emails, can I?
From here? Oh, it's a good question, Abby. We can check on the reports in Zoom.
Okay.
If people, yeah, we can double check.
Yeah.
At least I think we have names at the very least, so.
And if you want the presentation, like ASAP before I email it out it'll be on the 6th or something, then you can just shoot me an email and I can send this presentation your way.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Hope this was helpful for everyone.
Abby, I've been helping kids. I've been in and out. You may have talked about this, but one-on-one sessions, do you have a sense if employers are going to be kind of driving those, or are students going to be expected to bring a lot of questions and kind of drive those meetings?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm picturing it similar to a career fair in person like we normally see. So each employer and each recruiter has their own style. Some people are a little bit more, here, let me tell you about all the options and opportunities we have. And some people are a little bit more conversational in it. And some people, and some students are really proactive and ask a ton of questions. So I don't think that will change with this platform. I think if anything, you can probably expect to see a little bit more kind of time for the employers to at least introduce themselves. Mm-hmm. Sometimes in career fairs in person, there gets to be one employer with a little semicircle of students kind of ducking in and out, and the employer is just kind of talking to multiple students at once. This will at least be a little bit more of a formal conversation. So, hi, welcome. My name is Albers Placement Center. Thanks for signing up for my one-on-one session. It looks like you're a junior, and then you can introduce yourself or whatever. But as I mentioned earlier, I would recommend being at least a little bit prepared, knowing what they're hiring for. If they've posted anything like that, you can always just ask about the professional in general. So, how long have you been a tax accountant? Why do you like what you do? Those types of things. If you can always ask about the company, you can share something you find interesting about the company. Another thing to note is that these sessions are scheduled for 10 minutes. I don't think that the employers will want them to go for the full 10 minutes. I think that they're going to probably want them to end at least at 9 minutes so they can duck out and then get to their next session on time.
Thanks, Abby.
I feel like some of my answers have been pretty long-winded. Anyone else have any questions?
Yeah, we have a question on dress code. Since it's going to be virtual, what's the expectations going to be?
Yeah, good question. I dress professionally. You may hear people say, oh, waist and above, dress professionally. I would recommend dressing professionally from head to toe, because you just never really know what's going to happen. Like, I have cats that will periodically run around and I'll have to stand up and go, separate them or whatever. So if I'm like wearing business professional, and then I stand up and I'm wearing pajama bottoms, I would just recommend dressing professional from head to toe. You never know what's going to happen. Also, look good, feel good. you know, if you dress professional, I think you'll feel the part. So yes, dress professionally. If you can, I mean, if you're having camera issues, that's understandable. You can do audio or chat, but I recommend whenever you can, unless something's wrong, do video. So with that being said, make sure that you have decent lighting and that there's not a ton of noise around and there's not a ton of distraction in the background if you can. Get headphones if necessary. But yes, dress professional and make sure that your environment is not distracting and is professional. That was a good question. Anyone else have any questions? All right. Well, if we don't have any more questions, I think we can wrap it up. Thank you all for being here today. As I mentioned, this will be, we'll get this presentation up on our YouTube channel, and I will be emailing a link out to that, and I will be sure to send out the presentation as well. Thanks everyone, and hopefully we will see you at the fair.